Hey everybody, Dr. Boyce Clark, CEO and founder of Lubricity Labs. Thanks for tuning in. I know last week we talked about the science of gray hair and we had a tremendous response with views, over 7,600 views so far in just a week. So it's clearly a subject that's important to a lot of us. And what we talked about last week was the causes of gray hair. And the studies that we reviewed were that the main causes are radiation, i.e. the sun, inflammation systemically in your body. So again, we know that these are the causes of a lot of diseases, so keeping inflammation low is important. And then stress, keeping your stress level down. These studies show that if we can reduce any of these three, that we can reduce the onset of graying, so how quickly it's going to happen. What we talked about that was kind of interesting is that once we do have gray hair, that there's no difference between gray hair and pigmented hair except that it doesn't have pigment in it. So why is it that so many of us have these wiry gray hairs that are unruly and crazy? Well, it's because the pigment in our hair actually protects the hair against the radiation from the ultraviolet radiation in the sun. So gray hair has no protection from it. The UV radiation damages the cuticle, goes in and damages the cortex actually also, and produces this wiry, damaged hair. So if we could protect the hair from this, we could prevent this from happening. So those of you who have just a few gray hairs but you notice them because they're the ones that are wiry and out of control, it's because those hairs have been damaged by the sun, and that's why they're wiry and out of control. So by preventing that, we could prevent that problem from happening. So when I talked about this last week, I alluded to a big announcement that we were going to make this week, and I wanted to make that announcement today. And that is a new line that Lubricity is coming out with. We've been in the lab doing research and development on a new product, and it's specifically for gray hair. Now, while it won't prevent gray hair, because as we talked about, everyone is going to gray, and when this is going to happen to you is dependent primarily on your race. But what we can prevent is the damage to the gray hair after it turns gray. So if we can keep the hair from being damaged by the sunlight, we can prevent this wiry, crazy looking hair, and we can have gray hair that flows along with our other hair and is manageable. So we've developed a product that we're going to be rolling out this fall that prevents photo damage, and it does so by blocking UV radiation to the gray hairs, or to all of your hairs actually, but primarily the ones that are gray are the ones that are going to be damaged. And it also contains sacrificial antioxidants. So what that means is when radiation does strike the hair becomes oxidized, and that's where the damage occurs. So by placing antioxidants in its place, things like vitamin C, provitamin A, other compounds like this, they will sacrifice themselves and actually be oxidized instead of your hair. So if there is a breakdown in the blockage from UV with a sunblock, the antioxidants will prevent that damage from occurring. There's numerous studies that show that this has a significant effect on protecting the hair. So we've rolled these into some products and we're still testing them, but we'll be rolling out a line this fall specifically for gray hair. So if you're someone that's got wiry, damaged gray hair, it's not going to fix it overnight, but by using it and allowing your hair to grow out, that new virgin hair that's going to grow out will now be protected and not have the damage that occurs from it. We're going to have more information about this and more details about the product coming out, but thanks for tuning in, and hope you guys have a great week.